Here we go now.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Kempire channel. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and behind the scenes here on TikTok for our weekly recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And honestly, I could have used an episode where they just really focused more on the girls trip, because those first 10 minutes were far more entertaining than what we got for the rest of the episode. So this won't be a long recap, okay? No. This will not be a long recap. I'm sorry. Plus, I have something to do anyway. But that being said, I'm here, and I'm going to talk about it, okay? And we're going to make the most of it. And producers, the next time you decide that you want to make an episode surrounded around Tricia, think again. Look, think again. And Trisha, this is not a bad thing. You're not great reality television. You barely want to speak. I don't know. I can't even believe you, because it feels like you are lying about certain things. And before I was like, oh, I don't think she's lying. But now it seems like you've been caught in lies. I'm not interested in Trisha. I don't want an episode surrounded around Trisha's stuff. But okay, Trisha signed the divorce papers at the end of this episode. So fine. We never need to see or talk about Trisha again. I was bored. This was probably their worst episode, and this is only episode 3 of season 922. I don't love the way that they split up the season, because it doesn't make sense. We ended last season with this girls trip, and we're beginning this new season with the girls trip. You guys don't make sense, and I don't know if it's the production. I'm assuming it's OWN. What are you guys thinking? Oprah, what are you thinking? Look, what are you thinking? But Oprah doesn't really, I know she's like the creative, person over there, but she doesn't own like she used to. She owns like 5%, if she even owns that anymore. What are you guys doing over there? Like everyone complains about the same thing about these seasons being broken up. It's like weird. Anyways, I'm going to complain about every single week, but I will say the first 10 minutes were far more interesting than the rest of the episode. And I do feel like a lot of people are out here being hypocrites, saying one thing and then doing another in the confessionals. But they all do that. They do that in all reality shows. But we have to remember, when they film these confessionals, they are filming them weeks, months after they film those scenes. I really wish in the moment we got real reactions, because it would be far more telling. A lot of stuff happens in between. So what they say in the confessionals is because something's happened that we haven't seen yet, and they're really like, yeah, I'm not friends with that person, so I'm going to be shady in this confessional. Philly John says, you know what, Philly? That doesn't make my life better. Philly John says, glad I don't waste my time watching. So I just spent 2 hours of my life watching? Yeah, I watched it twice. Feel sorry for me. Because I watch it twice, because I pick up on little things that I didn't see the first time around. All right, I said I'm not going to make this long. But before we get into this, our show today is sponsored by our friends over at Uncommon Goods. The holiday season is officially here, guys. So it's important to really start your Christmas shopping. And I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I'm saying that because, honestly, time's a ticking. Before I know it, I already have to head off to London for the Kempire After Dark live experience. Okay, before we get to Uncommon Goods. I'm coming to LA this week. Have you gotten your tickets? We're not sold out. In LA, I thought you guys would sell us out. Shout out to New York. Shout out to DC. DC, y'all are still selling like hotcakes. I'm coming to DC on January 24th. Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. We're not sold out, LA. And I thought that we would be. Maybe I should have went to Houston first. Maybe I should have went to Houston first. Maybe I should have went to Dallas first. Just saying. I keep it real. All right. Go get your tickets today. I know it's a Wednesday evening, but look, I'm out. I'm telling jokes and giving you my opinion. Go get your tickets, LA. All right. All right. Melissa says, Melissa, you're right. Melissa on Facebook says, perhaps the shows needs to be dropped from the list of shows you watch. I agree. And maybe it will be, honestly. Because at this point, I only recap it because you guys keep asking me about it. I don't love this show. Anyways, I'll be coming to LA this week. Go get your ticket. Ticket information is available in the description. Then I'm coming to London. London, I promise you, we won't talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Every show is different, so I don't always talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville unless someone in the audience brings it up. We did talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville during the summer because we lost Kiki at the time, so we did talk about Kiki when I was in Nashville and Atlanta. Okay? See? Look, Houston coming out. Connie, I would love to come to Arkansas, but I have a feeling it'd be me and you at that show. Kimberly says, whoa, Kempire, look at my hat. Hold on. This is available in the merch store. Whoa, Kempire. Whoa. I got dust on this thing. Anyways, moving on. So, LA, I'm coming this week. London, I'm coming next month. Washington, D.C., I'm coming January. All ticket information is available in the description. Today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Uncommon Goods. They say this: spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They scoured the globe for original handmade, absolutely remarkable things. Somehow they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Kempire. That's uncommongoods.com/Kempire for 15% off. 15. Okay. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. More information on Uncommon Goods will be available in the description. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let me bring up my notes. All right. So we start off this week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let me bring up all my stuff here. Hold on, y'all. So we start off this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but still on this girls' trip. And honestly, normally I'm like, oh God, we're still on this trip. It's, this is the longest trip ever, but it's been good. It's been interesting. It's been dynamic. Don't you think? Look, don't you think? Look. So let me just kind of go. The ladies all wear white. They go to the table. There's no seating arrangement. Melody ends up moving Sunni because she was sitting right next to Destiny. Was that Melody being a producer, or was she really looking out for Destiny in that moment? I don't know if she was really looking out for Destiny, because I really don't believe that Melody likes Destiny. I don't. I think she was probably being a producer in that moment. However, it was nice of her because it didn't help that Destiny, her facial expression during this entire dinner was just sort of like pissy, just like the entire time for like no reason. And again, I'm saying no reason, but we're watching an edited show. Maybe there was something that happened that was edited out, and that's why it's not making sense. But that's the face that she was giving at her Madani grand reopening. So it's hard to decipher whether or not it's just Melody. I mean, not Melody, Destiny. Okay. Anyway, so Melody moves Sunni, as I said before, so that she could move Lauren next to her. Okay. This was the first time we even heard Lauren speak. Okay, in this scene. Oh, she spoke last week. Anyways, Kimmy decides to say, because Kimmy says she doesn't like a girls trip. She didn't want to be on this girls trip. So she says that by the end of it, she's like, I've never been on a girls trip. She doesn't do girls trips. Here's the thing, though, Kimmy. You've never been on a girls trip, but you don't like a girls trip? can someone make that make sense for me? Okay, I'll make sense for myself. Just the thought of women coming together for you doesn't seem like it would be fun. Girls can be catty, women can be cat. Is that what you're saying? That's why you haven't done a girls trip? But she says by the end of this girls trip, we had resolve, everything worked out, it was good. Melody, you did a great job. Okay. Lauren, Melody's friend, says that she loves how the group resolved their issues. Melody then says, out of the blue, because this is Melody being a producer, she's like, Destiny, you don't agree? Destiny, you don't agree? And Destiny was like, what? She was like, do I have to react like everyone's reacting? So that's when Destiny in her confessional, she's like, I'm over everybody, kissing Melody's ass and this and this and this and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, look, again, we're watching an edited show, so maybe there was a lot more happening on this episode that we didn't see in regards to everyone like, oh my God, Mel, you did a great job, blah, 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 blah. She did host a trip. The trip was definitely interesting to watch. However, I'm thinking to myself, Destiny, this is giving hater. It's giving jealous. So you're sitting there jealous because they're saying that Melody did a good job on the trip? Like, this is not, no one's saying that you got to suck up to Melody. You could be like, you know what, this was a great trip. Was it not a great trip? Because you were in the hallway after your beef with Melody saying, I'm sorry. I love you. That was you. And I don't know the timeline of things, but that maybe was what, a couple of days? Not even a couple of days. Probably like the day before. You were like across the room in the hallway to Melody. I'm sorry. I love you. And and this is why when people say, Melody, harps on things and she doesn't let things go. This is why. Because in the confessional, this woman is just like, everyone's sucking up to Melody, kissing her ass. I don't feel like anyone was kissing her ass. I don't see Kimmy as an ass kisser or anything like that. So I was sort of like, so you're just hating to hate. You're just hating to hate. You're just sitting there being miserable. It's weird. Like, one minute you're good, the next minute you're like not good. You were in the middle. You were in the hallway sucking up to her. You're like, I want to sit next to Melody. Can I sit next to Melody? Is it because Melody hasn't fully embraced you since you did that? Is that why now all of a sudden by the end of the trip you're like ready to go? I'm like, what is going on? Like it was uncalled for, because there's a lot of things that we can say about Melody being a producer, being a starter, an ish starter, a confessional gang. There's a lot of things we could say about Melody, but you just don't make it easy for us to defend you. That's why when I start talking about the Sunni part, I'm going to be twerking on the fence, because Sunni, you weren't great either. Because so Destiny in the moment says that why she's unhappy is because that Nell brought up and everyone was talking to Sunni about having children with her ex. So she says she didn't like that. And Nell is immediately apologetic. She's like, I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. And honestly, I don't believe that was Nell's intention either. Okay. But I think Destiny didn't want to say how she really felt, and that she didn't like that everyone was sucking up to Mel, and everyone was like, giving Mel her flowers for hosting a really great trip and continuing dialogue and people having resolve at the end of the trip. She didn't say that in the moment, though, because she knows she would have came across looking jealous and as a hater. So she makes it about her issues with Sunni, which really is no issue, because I told you last week, that was just Destiny trying to have a moment, trying to have a scene. Very much what Melody said. That's what Destiny does. She tries to have a moment. She tries to have a moment. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. God's Child says, Destiny is a hypocrite. She's done countless interviews, lies, and confessionals geared only to dogging Mel. Move on. You're not friends anymore. Damn. Look, that is the energy that she was giving. However, because she's a Taurus like me, I can understand her sitting at the table like, I just want to be home. I don't want to sit around in this group of people and listen to anybody. Like I understand that energy. If she had just said that, I'd probably like, yeah, I get it, girl. You just want to be home. You don't really want to be sitting here with a group of people. But I guess any excuse is better than none. So her main excuse is the fact that, everybody was talking about Sunni having a baby. So Sunni, I can't agree with you here, Sunni, because Sunni literally says, did I write it down? Let me see. Hold on. Destiny says that she was uncomfortable with the Sunni stuff. And then Sunni, in Sunni's situation, so she doubles down and says that she wasn't friends with Destiny. But before that, she mentions betrayal. And I was like, what is Sunni saying? Sunni, you're not making sense. Because very much like what Destiny said, the minute you talked about betrayal in the friend group, I said to myself, she was like, certain people can acknowledge that certain people have been betrayed. And I said to myself, what is she talking about? How is this relevant to you right now? And Destiny brings that up, and she's just like, I find it interesting that you want to use the word betrayal. So that's when Sunni doubles down and says, we were never friends. Sunni, you just said to her when y'all were on the streets of St. Thomas talking about, we were getting to know each other. So were you friends or were you not friends? We were getting to know each other. What? Were you friends or you not friends? Because I wonder how all of you would feel if there was a person that you were getting to know as a friend started dating your man. How would you feel about that? So that's where Sunni loses me, because one minute you're saying we were getting to know each other. Now you're saying we were never friends. Okay. So she's like, Sunni says, I apologized to you the night before. I apologized again. And she's like, you what did she say? Do you receive it or something like that? And Destiny was like, I don't receive it. Destiny, here's the thing with Destiny too, why I get frustrated. Sunni, I think you're a hypocrite, and I think you talk from two sides of your face. But Destiny, I think you are prolonging this issue so you have relevancy on this show. Because if you make up with Sunni, basically that's going to be you losing your storyline and losing your position on the show. You're trying to secure your position on the show. It's very clear, because right now you're doing any interview, you'll be on anyone's couch, on anyone's podcast, on anyone's StreamYard in order to juice out your next 15 seconds of fame on the show, because next season 10,000, that you might not be on it. You're being very strategic. Can I blame you? No, but it's so obvious what you're doing. So you're trying to prolong this issue with Sunni. Was the issue with Sunni valid for you to be a little annoyed and pissed? Yes. However, now you're dragging it out. And I'm over you dragging it out. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you and the Sunni stuff. It's not interesting at all, because you're both fighting over a trash man that's sitting in jail in St. Louis because Dum Dum decided to go to another state when he wasn't supposed to go to another state. You both are fighting over that man. That's who y'all are fighting over. Okay? Sunni's over here. I'm the wife. I got the prize. Fool, you did not get the prize. Because what? Oh, because he's good looking? I'd much rather be out here in these streets with an ugly man that has paid cents and is not locked up and they won't let him out. That doesn't have consistently being locked up. Honestly, I'd much rather a Baroque man out here that's a decent human being with a baby with a little shaky credit, but he ain't got no rap sheet. I don't want that, dear Lord. I'm just saying, I'm being facetious, dear Lord. Dear Lord, I'm not just saying that's what I want. I'm just saying I much rather, if I had to choose between Moses. No, he's got to have good credit. Got to have ambition. Just like, Honestly, I could talk this entire recap just about the first 10 minutes. I could care less about Trisha. We'll talk about Marcel and Tisha scene. That was a little interesting. I could care less about everything else in this episode. Courtney said, not shaky credit. If I had to choose between a Moses and a shaky credit man, I take the shaky credit. Because at least shaky credit you can fix. Shaky credit you can fix. And you can fix that quick. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I did that before. Some of y'all out here asking the wrong questions on your first dates. Have you on a first date asked a person what their credit score is? Okay, maybe not on the first date. Some of y'all asking the wrong questions. So Destiny and Sunni fighting over Moses, that is no prize. Oh, because he's good looking? Let me tell you something. There are plenty of good looking men in the world. Y'all don't need to be fighting over this one. But I know why Destiny's doing it. She's doing it so she has some relevancy on this show. It's Tay-T says, Kempire, can I put a 0 in your vote box? Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, how would you rate it? Huh? See, look, Unique says, I am not a ride or die either, Kemp. Just saying. No. Just saying. Connie says, this Sunday devotional was sponsored by Uncommon Goods and the Kempire After Dark Live experience. Go get your tickets for LA today. All right. Ooh, Ashley said he's not good looking. Look, okay, everyone's going to have a difference of opinion. I think Moses is good looking. But when I know who Moses is now, I'm like, I'm not interested. For me, as a Taurus, the more I get to know who you are, the more I'm like, ew. Like the good looking fades for me. I know some of you are just strictly about the looks. Look, I like a good looking person. However, the more I get to know a person, if they are a trash human being, the uglier they become. Okay? Just saying. Unless it's just a wham bam thank you man, then you don't care. But Sunni married him. So Destiny says she's not willing to move forward with Sunni. Fine. We know. But Melody does say, confirm that Sunni was a little stank when she was talking and her facial expression. So I was like, she had Destiny's back in that moment. All right. So Destiny says she does not receive the apology. So she wants to drag this storyline out for the next season. We honestly don't care, Destiny. We honestly don't care. And you're lucky that you even got 2 seasons in a row. It's because of the janky season system that they have set up over there at Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's be honest. Ooh, Tennessee girl says Destiny was a wham bam thank you ma'am. Look, I am not going to even highlight some of the things that y'all are saying in there. She said for 15 years. Lord. I mean, yeah, they had a 15-year friendship relationship, and it wasn't serious relationship. They weren't exclusive to each other, but okay. All right, fine. When Dr. Shanita decides to chime in the Sunni and Destiny conversation, she shuts Dr. Shanita down. And honestly, Dr. Shanita, you were doing a lot. You were doing a lot this trip, and I get it. Whatever reason, I don't know if someone put a battery in your back, if that battery had Melody's face on it. I don't know. But you were doing too much. And maybe that's just your personality, and you would do too much in every situation. What's her sign? Is she a Leo? And I appreciate Destiny shutting you down because you did not need to involve yourself in this conversation. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. And if everyone else is staying out of it and they're more in tune to the situation, that means you should stay out of it too. This is not for you to have a moment. So Melody, she's like, okay, so that's done. You're not going to move on. You're not receiving it. We know what your boundaries are. We know not to bring up, the baby talk in front of Destiny. Fine. So I'm going to read a poem. So she shares a photo that she's going to have everyone sign, and then she's going to print a version for everyone. Honestly, I don't know if she's going to have them sign the front or the back. I'd much rather them sign the back. I don't want your signature all over the group photo. That's just me, though. So Melody gets up and she recites a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm the queen bee, and neither are you. That's not what she said, but fine. Okay? She wanted to have a cutesy demure moment. She got her cutesy demure moment. Okay? And that's it. That's all that happened in the episode. Oh, no, there was more. Trisha and Ken. They have this scene. Trisha, look, I'm not going to deny that Melody gave Trisha weird energy, and maybe because she knew that they were talking about Trisha and Martell possibly having something. Maybe. Okay? However, I'm going to say Melody gave Trisha weird energy even before the trip. There was like a weird energy between them for whatever reason. But then Melody really didn't like her after she left the trip. Okay? I don't really think that Melody cares if Trisha and Martell had anything. I really don't think she cares. I mean, you couldn't tell based off at the dinner her reaction. I honestly think Melody's reaction at the dinner table when Tisha brought up the Martell and Trisha stuff was the fact that she didn't want to give Martell screen time. She did not want to give Martell any air time on her girls' trip. That's what I felt like Melody's face was giving. Like, why are we talking about this man? Why are we talking about this man? I do not want to talk about my ex. Okay? Anyways. So, I found this conversation with Trisha. So Trisha brings up what happened during the girls' trip. She brings up Sunni comparing Sunni's situation to her situation. Ken's like, our situations are very different. Yeah, your situation is actually probably worse. Your situation is probably worse. Trisha then brings up Shanita. And here's where Trisha lost me, because I thought Trisha's she took a couple of digs at Melody because they talked about Shanita and Shanita chiming in. And yes, Shanita was chiming in a little too much, but Trisha referred to Shanita as Melody's puppet. And I was like, okay, that was the first dig. I was like, all right. Then she says, Ken brings up the fact that, there are plenty of people that get into, they're getting a divorce or they're separated and they're dating other people. And Trisha's like, yeah, Mel. I was like, oh, okay. I should say it a little bit because Trisha talks through her teeth. She was just like Candy. She talked through her teeth. She's just like, yeah, like Mel. That was another dig. And I was like, what are these digs about? And again, we're watching an edited show. I don't know if things were said or done and I don't know the sequence of events, because some of you don't realize that sometimes these shows film out of sequence. So what we're seeing now could have been filmed way after another scene that may have caused an issue between Trisha and Melly. I don't know. But I always point this out to you guys because I know people would be like, that was unprovoked. Why did she do that? I thought it was weird. It was a weird energy that Trisha was giving in that moment because it felt like a couple of digs. Okay? Elsie says, oh, hold on, Elsie. I lost your comment. Elsie says, Melody took two strays from Trisha? What? I don't understand what that comment was. So I was like, what is this energy about? Again, I'm giving grace to some of these folks because if I really just went off of the edit, that was weird for her to take a couple of digs at Melody, like, oh, Shanita was Melody's puppet. And then to say, Melody was the one dating. Because my thing is, the situation with Melody and Martell. You know that Martell had a whole baby on Melody. So if Melody decided to go and get a man, even if they were still married and under the same roof, that's not the situation. But even if she decided to, she had every right to, the way how badly that man cheated on her. Because let's not forget, not only did he have a baby with Coleslaw, he had another baby with Coleslaw that, did she lose or did she, I don't remember but she was pregnant before. So your perfect example would have been Martell. Martell, he was getting a divorce and he was dating other people. I just thought that was interesting and weird at the same time. Jamie says, yes, it feels like Trisha doesn't want to embrace herself and tell the truth about sleeping with Martell. Look, at this particular point, you remember, roll the tape, go back to the earlier recaps. I was like, I don't believe that Trisha slept with Martell. But now I'm kind of looking at, did you? Because you've been caught in a couple of lies. And honestly, based off what Marcel said, Martell didn't have a gym at his house, so why would she go there and train him? Because I was wondering that at first, but I was like, okay, maybe he has a gym. I don't know his house situation. There are plenty of people that have workout equipment at their home. But when Marcel said it, I said, oh, so he doesn't have a gym at the house. All right, so did Trisha know that? Like, Trisha, just be honest from the beginning, because now you're being caught out there, and now you look like a lad. Elsie says, meaning Melody was the focus of Trisha's ire because of her relationship with Martell. Maybe. Let me see. Oh, Mama Tax says, Martell hit it. Why is she so weird with Mel? And like, why? And again, I'm giving grace. I said, maybe it's the edit, but it is weird. Like, it's a weird energy. And I felt like it was weird on both ends. But then some of the comments that Trisha made in this conversation with Ken, I was like, that's interesting. Then they talk about her possibly hanging out with Martell and what Martell has been saying to the other group. And Ken says he's going to have a conversation with Martell for kind of insinuating that something more may have happened between him and Trisha. All right. Honestly, I could care less about that scene. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I won't be here long because I got to go. So I'm going to move on. Tisha and Marcel. Tisha, you're trash. Why did Tisha I thought you and Dr. Shanita made peace during the trip. You guys, she called you the ops, and I said, we know that Tisha's the ops, but Dr. Shanita, you're doing too much. But by the end of the trip, it seemed like they made amends, only for Tisha to come back and refer to, because Marcel's like, oh, is she tall? He's like, I think I've seen her before. And she was like, tall like a guy. This is what Tisha said. And I said, wow. Like, that was unnecessary. Espos, leave me alone. I'm pretending like they're real fanatic fans, and we call them the Espos, Tisha fans. Espos, leave me alone. Exactly. Funky says that Ken needs to question Trisha. She has him looking pitiful. And I said that from the jump, from last season, season 900. I said, you just found out about this? She didn't give you a heads up before filming this? About what really went down? She's telling you on camera? Okay. All right. So Tisha and Marcel have this conversation about honestly, if Marcel sounds like the voice of reason, like, that's saying a lot. All right. Kimberly says Tisha has fans. Yes, we call them the Espos. If you weren't here the last couple of weeks and it's completely going over your head. No, Tennessee girl says Tisha has fans. Yes, the Espos. Espos unite. Look, Espos unite. For those that are listening to the podcast version of this is why you got to watch the video too. Espos unite. Okay. All right. Moving on. Daphne says that don't forget Tisha is Miss Wanda's baby. Children learn what they live. Well, okay. Y'all are still reacting to Tisha having fans. Okay. So Marcel brings up that fact that he's like, they talk about the Trisha stuff and how Trisha reacted during the girls' trip. And Marcel says he finds it interesting that you can train someone that doesn't have a gym at the home. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Look, only they would know. I just went off like, okay, maybe he has a gym at the house. Fine. But according to Martell doesn't have a gym. So did Trisha know that going there? Like, Trisha, the situation with you and Martell, look, I don't trust a word that comes out of Martell's mouth, but now you're starting to make Martell look more credible than you. And that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Anyways, so they talk about the Trisha and Martell stuff. They also discuss Martell making jokes about Destiny's son looking like him. And then Marcel makes a good point. The fact that Martell keeps making jokes like that, he can understand why Melody doesn't see it for Destiny. But Melody has a whole list of reasons why she feels like you always have Martell's back, you don't have mine. And honestly, because of how contentious things are between Martell and Melody, I can understand Xing out anyone that would be associated with him. I literally just had that situation in my own life. I was just like, you're friends with someone that did this to me. Oh, no. We can't be friends. And I'm never going to tell somebody who you should be friends with. But my thing is when a situation gets to a level of people's safety, people's character, I can't be friends with you. Or if anything, we could be associates, but we are not going to be deep friends because I don't know what you're going to carry over back to him. And especially with Martell and especially with Destiny being inconsistent, I can understand Melody not wanting to be cool friends with her. But I will say Melody was nice to Destiny during this girls' trip, despite their issues. Okay? Not calisthenics. They were doing calisthenics? All right. I don't think a man would be doing a lot of calisthenics. Yes, we do calisthenics, but if you're going to be trained by someone, you're going to want some weights. You're going to need some stuff. Okay? But Marcel brought up, like, when she trained you, Tisha, you guys did what? Y'all went to the gym. Points were made. So Marcel says, I could understand why Melody might be upset. He's always making these jokes. Martel's making these jokes like he did sleep with Destiny, talking about how the kid looks like him. I was like, all right. I mean, I never thought about that, Marcel. Thank you for clarifying. And then they talk about the whole respectful cheating thing. And Marcel defends Melody again and says that I just don't see that happening. I don't believe that Melody was helping Coleslaw respectfully cheat. But Tisha says, I could see Martell getting off on the fact that two women are fighting over him. Yes, of course. Of course. Hence why probably Melody doesn't like talking about him on the show. If she's in a scene, she doesn't want to talk about him. I don't blame her. Because he probably gets off on the fact that he's a part of her storyline. The fact that we don't see Martell a lot, I don't know what Martell's contract looked like, but he's not the brightest person. So is he getting paid per episode? Because he's out of a lot of episodes last season and this season. So I wonder what his check is looking like. Anyways, I mean, he's still a producer. Doesn't mean much. I just feel like he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to his business. Hence, what his business has gone through. Just saying. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience. For those that don't know what that is, it's not what you're seeing here. All the stuff that I can't say here, I'm saying there during the Kempire After Dark live experience, okay? That's where we talk about whatever is the latest thing happening. And for those that are wanting to hear my first thoughts right after the premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that is where I'll be making it. My thoughts on New York, my thoughts on Salt Lake City, all of that will be mentioned there, okay? So if you're in LA or will be in LA or want to be in LA, I'll be coming there at the Bourbon Room Hollywood on November 20th. Ticket information is available in the description. But if you're in London or near London or can be in London, I'll be in London on December 8th. Get your tickets for that experience. For that, we're working on some other things while I'm in London as well. And then I'm coming back to Washington, D.C. on January 24th. Go get your tickets for that information. All the things in regards to Kempire, including our cameo. I just got a cameo request last night. That was fantastic. I love some of the cameo requests that you guys do for your birthdays, anniversaries. But if you just want a key or advice, I love those more. Just saying. More information on everything Kempire, including our merch. Look, like the House of Kempire hat. Look at that. That is embroidered. You see that? Embroidered. Limited edition. Okay. Limited edition. Go get your merch today at houseofkempire.com. More information on that will be available in the description. Let me say thank you, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. I will drop the call-in link really quickly, but you guys have to be done. I got to get out of here. I got things to do. I'm packing. I'm trying to also set up for Christmas because by the time I get back, I need to really set up for Christmas because then, I'm flying out to London. Like, I'm not doing another tour. I'm done after this. Twan, thank you, Twan the Don, for the super chat. Twan says, Mel's sidekick really pissed me off this whole trip. Like, seriously, should Dr. Shanita? Your opinion wasn't necessary and or needed. Ma'am, looking like Muppet. Tamara's twin. Oh, damn. Twan was really in his feelings about Dr. Shanita. Okay. Oh, thank you, Connie. Connie says, I love Kempire, irregardless of our upcoming adventures. This man is the real deal. Thank you. I don't know what upcoming adventures. All right, let me take a sip. Tennessee Girl says, this episode was a dud. It really was. Let's talk about the final scene with Marques, Trisha, and Ken. Here's the thing. They finally signed the divorce papers at the end of this scene, okay? But Marques, and I think this is real for people, okay? He's in his feelings because he lost his family, he lost his wife, his high school sweetheart. I understand that. Do I think he's innocent? Do I think that he really was absentee? Yes. When he says, you say I'm absentee, but I'm not absentee, is that your proof? Is that your proof? And Tricia says he's been absentee even before Ken was in the picture. Marques then brings up, well, Ken was in your comment section putting all kinds of emojis and things like that. And Tricia's like, nothing was happening between Ken and I when you and I were still together. But some might say you were still a married woman. I don't believe that. I believe, because divorces can, take time. It doesn't mean that you should just sit there and dry up because you're going through a divorce. But they weren't going through a divorce. They weren't actively talking about getting a divorce at that particular time. I honestly think they only went through with getting a divorce was because she was on this show. Because her and Ken were together for 2 years. Marcel does mention, though, in his conversation with Tricia, what did he say? Did I write it down? I can't remember now. In regards to Tricia. Did I not write it down? No. Oh, I completely skipped over Kimmy and Maurice's scene. It was Maurice. Okay, let me just rewind a little bit. So Kimmy and Maurice's scene. Kimmy is doing all kinds of shucking and jiving for Maurice because at the end of the girls' trip, you were talking about, I've never done a girls' trip before, but this turned out to be really nice. Only for her to be talking all kinds of smack about the girls' trip when she's in front of Maurice. Like, oh, I hate girls' trips. Yeah, but at no point, Nacho Twin says, keep skipping it. No, I wanted to mention that Maurice said he's wondering if Tricia might not like Ken as much as he likes her. And he's like, you know what, maybe we need to, have a conversation with them. Why would y'all need to have a conversation with them? Again, this is them producing. This is them trying to have a moment, trying to have a scene because you guys have nothing else. Why would you need to have a conversation about these people's relationship? Why? So that's what he says. Do you guys believe that Tricia doesn't like Ken as much as he likes her? I mean, some people are comfortable with that dynamic. Maybe. But the two things that stood out to me in that Kimmy and Maurice scene was the fact that Maurice said what he said about Tricia's relationship with Ken, but also Kimmy's hypocrisy at the end of the girls' trip. Like, you were talking about, if you had remained consistent, you didn't like the girls' trip at the end, but you did a whole speech at the end. A whole speech at the end of the girls' trip, like, I don't normally like girls' trip, but this turned out to be really nice. Only for you to be in front of your man, like, that girls' trip was terrible. Nell was starting all this beef with me and blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. And yes, Nell was definitely doing too much and she shouldn't have involved herself. I think we all can agree. But now I'm looking at you sideways, Kimmy. I'm looking at you sideways. So the last thing, Marques, Tricia, and Ken, they talk about the issues. They rehash all of their issues. And I think Ken is a stand-up guy. He's trying to do his best. He's trying to be gracious to Marques and respect Marques. Marques is concerned that there was some sort of overlap in his relationship with Tricia and Tricia's relationship with Ken. They claim that there wasn't an overlap. I don't know if I believe that anymore because Tricia doesn't seem like a credible person. And I think that sweet, demure, quiet personality makes us think that she wouldn't do something like that, but it's always the quiet ones. And she's already been caught in a couple of lies. And she says she only did that because she knows what it would look like. Okay, girl. I look. Murasakino? Thank you so much for the super chat. Mercer Kina says, we knew Destiny lied about the respectful cheating because Mel, Martell, and Sloslaw said the communication was about catching out Martell if he was still pursuing Sloslaw. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's how long the show has been on. And honestly, that never came out on the show. So that's the sad part about watching Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you don't pay attention to the drama offline, then you're confused. You're like, oh, you believe one. This is why context is important. I was just talking about this when we were talking about Monique did that interview slamming Carlos King. If you missed that video, mods, if we can post that in the live chat. We posted that yesterday where Monique basically says that the one thing that I signed up for turned out to be something else. She says that Carlos King used the black card to lure her into doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, only to use her name to launch that show, and then it fell apart. She said he did her worse than Bravo did her. And she says, the way that they edited it made me look worse than it actually was. And I said, this is where context is important. Do I believe Monique 100%? No. However, I do believe, context is important. Tate called Ken Slaw because he referred to himself Martell referred to him as the number one side piece in this relationship because Trisha's still married to this man. I'm assuming when she signed the divorce papers, now they are officially divorced. But Marques tries to defend himself during this conversation and tries to allude that there was an overlap in their relationship. Tries to kind of wash over. Look, I do believe Marques was an absentee father. I do believe that he walked away from his family. I do believe Trisha in regards to that because based off of what Marques has tried to explain to us, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. He didn't do himself any favors in explaining that. Do I believe his crocodile tears? No. And I'm glad that they left in Trisha saying that in her confession. She's like, and Ken was trying to be respectful. He's like, if you ever need to talk, feel free you can talk to me. So I felt for him when he was boohoo crying at the table. And Trisha was just like, I've seen these tears before. I do believe he's manipulative. I do believe he played a part in the reason why this relationship didn't work anymore. But why, Trisha, did you not push for a divorce? We have to remember that. It wasn't like she had filled out the paperwork and she was ready to go. Like, that all happened this season. She also was dragging her feet with the divorce, hence why Maurice was sort of like, does she still have feelings for Marques? Like, why didn't she get this divorce? Just saying. Exactly. Nacho says, no accountability, so stop the crocodile tears. Hold on. Kevin says, Monique Samuels always perpetuates a victim. #exhausting. But I think two things can be true. I think that she could lack some credibility on Monique Samuels, but we also have seen Carlos King be accused of some shady stuff in regards to producing his shows. We've seen that. Brenda says Carlos Boo will get paid one way or another. Dee Dee says they've been together since high school, so they grew apart. Yeah, things happen. And I can see him because he's like, I don't have anybody right now. Look, whoa, Marques, you'll find another. He just, look, I think, didn't Trisha allude that he also had his own little, other side situations? She didn't say that he cheated, but she alluded that he also had moved on. Okay. Marques moved them in that house, and 2 weeks later, Ken Slaw moved in with his one bag. OMG, you guys are a mess. Cut and paste Tisha. Thank you. Tisha? The leader of the Espos? No. Why is it okay for all the other ladies who defended Destiny be called her friends, but Shanita is labeled Mel's bodyguard for defending her? That's what they're labeling her. I will say that Dr. Shanita did not do herself any favors because she did come across. It's one thing to defend your friend, but Dr. Shanita, the way she was puffing up her chest, the way that she got up when Destiny got up, and look, some people say, well, that's what friends do. They, like, real friends have each other's back. But she wasn't doing herself any favors that every time there was a situation with Melody that she had to, puff up her chest, stand up like she was going to fight. That really made her look like the bodyguard. Honestly, in my opinion. But I hear what you're saying. How is it not defending? How is it, defending your friend a bad thing or being a bodyguard? Other people do it all the time. Maybe. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Can we get to 400 likes? Yeah, let's get to 400 likes. Members, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys. Actually, no. I'm going to drop the call-in link for the general audience all together right now. Keep liking the video. It's easy and it's free. And while I'm doing that, go get your tickets for our LA show this week. I'll be in London the next month, and then I'm back in DC in January. All that ticket information is available in the description. And of course, more information on our sponsor for today, Uncommon Goods, if you're looking for a gift, is available in the description as well. All right. Let me just drop this really quickly. And we're taking quick calls, guys, because I got to go. I got things to do. I still got things to do. Hold on. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter and TikTok behind the scenes. We see you guys. We see you. Let me see. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chats. Let me see. Jean says, Shanita came on the scene trying to shake the table. It was weird. Yeah, she was doing, even with the whole Destiny stuff this week, her chiming in when it wasn't necessary. Like, why are you chiming in a situation that doesn't even involve you? It didn't even involve her. So she was already doing too much. All right. Let me see. Paula says, Bell Collective is making interesting, Love and Marriage? I'm not sure what you meant by that, but I'm still not watching Bell Collective. I'm done with like Carl's shows. Unless something dramatic is really, really good and the collective is saying, when I say the collective, you guys are saying, oh my God, this is so good. Then maybe I'll get into it. I did watch Eat, Slay, Love. That was cute. It was like 3 episodes. I enjoyed it. Is it worth me talking about? No. It was good though. I enjoyed it, but it was like 3 episodes and I was like, what's happening? Okay. But it was good. Island Girl says Martell never protected her and they used to do and say whatever, so they don't like someone taking up for Mel, hence the disdain for her fans, the Melamitas. God is Me says Sharnita stated that she worked as security for a high-end stripper. What? Regardless, glad someone was there for Mel. Mel says she's got goons too. What? God is Me? What? She worked as security for strippers? You made that up. What? You made that up. That is hilarious. Gosh, says, I disagree on Mel always having a bodyguard. Mel has said she told the cast to get to know people for themselves. No one has denied that. One thing I forgot to mention that Marcel mentioned during the episode, because when they were talking about Dr. Shanita, he mentioned, he was like, oh, she's her friend this year, but she won't be here next year. I forgot to mention that. How did I forget to mention that? Woo 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 says, I like Dr. Shanita. She was just asking questions like everyone else at the table. No, it was definitely giving. Look, no matter if you're a fan of Melody or Dr. Shanita, she was doing a lot. She was definitely doing a lot, more than she needed to do as a friend. You saw Lauren was there. Lauren didn't say much of anything, which is fine. And I'm not saying that Dr. Shanita had to be a Lauren, but for a person that's new to the group, you were doing a love. Okay? A love. I was reading Kimberly saying a lot. Damn, talk about East Slay Love Kempire. No. Look, no. No, because you guys, 2 of you will show up if I did a recap of Eat, Slay, Love. I'm not doing it. My time is precious. I don't know about y'all. I'm not doing it. Jamie says that Marques is ignorant and irresponsible. Yeah. Dion says Destiny is negative energy, period. She was upset at the closing dinner that the takedown plan that the Alliance planned to execute on the trip failed. Oh, is that what it was? Kimberly says, not Big Shirley from Security. Did you guys know Martin, the TV show is now on Netflix? I started watching that. Then I got into This Is Us. What am I doing to myself? What am I doing to myself? I'm going to have to mix it up to some sad with the laughter. Okay. Hey, Sarita says all the way from Virginia Beach. Thank you, Kempire. Thank you so much for the love, guys. Don't forget to like the video. We're almost at 400 likes. All right. Oh, let's see. Marie says, Kempire, I commend you for taking one for the team and watching that entire episode. Sharna says, Dr. Foster was doing what needed to be done. Okay. Okay. Jocelyn says, I miss your 90-Day Fiancé recaps. We're going to get back to it. Probably not until the new year, just because there's so much happening between now and January. So maybe in the new year, we'll get back to Tuesday Takeover, where we talk about 90-Day Fiancé and a lot of other things. But if you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I dropped the calling link. No one called in. Perfect. I don't need to talk about any of this. I need to go. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to those of you watching in the bushes. And shout out to the Espos. And the Millimeters. Okay. Shout out to all of y'all. Keep watching. All right. Keep watching. Semhar says, this show is still on. I'm just here for the commentary. Love you. Thank you, Semhar. I didn't even know you were in the chat, Semhar. BC says, Trisha's playing Ken like a fiddler. I believe she didn't want to divorce Marques. She's going along with the program now because she knows if she F's up being in the relationship with Ken. That's interesting. Something is fishy about Trisha. And it's the quiet ones. There's something fishy about her. All right. La says Marques is a guilty crybaby who wanted to chase the so-called Atlanta dream. #fail. Hey, Dr. Payne. Thank you for the roses on TikTok. Yeah, I wasn't falling for his tears. And then when they walked out, he was still at the table crying. Yeah, I do believe that some of that was real because he probably was like, damn, look what I did. I messed up a good thing. He was like, I messed up a good thing. Okay. Ooh, Godchild said the reality king is not kinging. I like the focus on smaller towns, but originality would help. I mean, there aren't a lot of Carlos King shows that are doing that right now, to be honest with you. Love and Marriage Huntsville had its day, but I think its day is done. They brought in Tricia as the new storyline, not interested. They tried to do that with Nell. People weren't interested in that. The girls trip, I have to say, was successful and was interesting, but I'm good on Destiny. I don't think Destiny will be back in season 10,000, no matter how hard she tries. Exactly. LC says that Marques is still in high school. He really is. Barbados. Dion, did you go to the Fenty launch? Have you checked out Fenty? Now Fenty Beauty is now available in Barbados. Rihanna had a whole launch and everything like that. Congrats to everyone. And also she basically said that she ain't doing new music anymore. That's what people were reading into her speech. Okay. Roman says those tears from Marques were the tears of a manipulator. I agree. Like I wasn't falling for it. I do believe that he has some hurt feelings because he lost a good thing. Okay. Jocelyn says, I agree. Carlos needs to move on from this cast. But he's tried. And now we got Love and Marriage Detroit. None of you guys are talking about Love and Marriage Detroit. Is it even still on? Did it end? I see Bell Collective does have its fans. That's the one thing I will say. Bell Collective has its fans. But I was recapping that. Y'all weren't showing up for that. We would recap both Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. I just gave up on Bell Collective because some of that stuff was getting a little too pre-produced. You remember when that man, what was it? I forgot her name. I don't remember. When that man came up and anyways, and Marie jumped up and she was like, oh, we had a time talking about that. Ooh, I am unique, says Kempire. I'm glad you haven't accepted Carlos's money to run a narrative. Who told you that he was giving out money? I could talk, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Goodbye, y'all. I'm getting out of here before I say too much. It's the holiday season. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming. Maybe I'll tell that story in LA if someone remembers. Bring it up. I'll tell you the story there. That's what the Kempire After Dark live experience. That's where I dropped the tea. All right. Make sure you get your tickets for the Kempire After Dark live experience coming to LA this Wednesday at the Bourbon Room, Hollywood. Ticket information is available in the description. Then we're coming to London. We're coming to London on December 8th. Get your tickets for that. And then we're coming back to Washington, D.C. on January 24th. More information on that and more will be coming. And New York, buckle up. All right. Bye, y'all. I'm getting out of here before y'all try to ask me anything about what I was just saying.
All the lights hanging up, you can see from the street. But if you're not coming over, you can light up my dreams. Every snowfall reminds me to call, 'cause I know if you're not here, then it's not Christmas at all. But this year, oh, I believe you're coming back to me.